Good morning. What a beautiful day it is. I'd like to recognize Mr. Ed Brancotti from Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney's office, Senator Terry Gibson, Senator Greg Hall, Assemblywoman Sandy Gallup, County Executive Mary Ellen O'Dell, our legislators Carl Albano. I know, I just informed. Penny Osborne, Town Board, Lou Tartaro, Deputy Supervisor, John Green, Town Board, Lana Capelli, our Town Clerk, and Jean Johnson, our Receiver of Taxes. Mr. Bob Ravello from New York City DEP, members of Putnam and Carmel Kent Chambers of Commerce, members of the press, distinguished guests, residents, employees, and friends of the town of Kent.
Yay!
My name is Kathy Doherty, and I'm the supervisor of the town of Kent. It is my pleasure to welcome you, on behalf of the town board, to this remarkable and historic day, as we celebrate the groundbreaking ceremony of the Kent Sewer District project. We've waited 4 years for this day. In 2009, after hearing that Frangel Realty was eligible to upgrade their wastewater treatment plant under the New York City DEP's regulatory upgrade program, we explored the potential to expand Frangel Realty's wastewater treatment plant to accommodate a portion of the commercially zoned district along Route 52 in Kent. After 4 years of research, meetings, negotiations, and public hearings, we are here today to mark the beginning of this important water quality project. Many lakes in our town are listed by New York State DEC as impaired water bodies, with the source of pollution identified as stormwater runoff and private on-site subsurface wastewater treatment systems. The existing conditions, such as small lot size, shallow groundwater, shallow rock, ledge, poor soils, steep slopes, and other conditions in our commercial district prohibit reliable function of on-site subsurface wastewater treatment systems. Therefore, having a central sewer system like this project is the best solution to improve the water quality of our lakes and streams. This project will limit water pollution by treating wastewater, making it fit for reuse or discharge back into the environment. The extra benefits of this project will be increased revenue and economic development. With hard work and perseverance, we were able to raise $6 million in funding to create the infrastructure of this project. No project of this magnitude is ever easy, and there are individuals and groups of people who have been particularly instrumental in making this possible. When the project was still in the exploratory stage, the town of Kent was still in the 40th district, and Senator Greg Ball and Jim Coleman from the Senator's office facilitated a meeting between the town, New York City DEP, and the Kent Manor representatives. After the town of Kent was moved to the 41st district, our new Senator, Terry Gibson, continued his support of the Kent Sewer District project. We must also thank Assemblywoman Sandy Gallup, a strong environmentalist, for supporting our efforts to promote water quality and for urging state agencies to support this project. The Office of Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney reached out to us and offered his assistance on this project. The Town Board of the Town of Kent, Lou Tartaro, Mike Tierney, Penny Osborne, and John Green gave their full support for this project every step of the way. The Putnam and Carmel Kent Chambers of Commerce helped us promote this project to the community. Jeff Cantelmo and his team of engineers at Insight Engineering provided us with technical assistance and made sure we met all agency regulations. I've been working with Jeff for the last 15 years on water quality projects. This project has been the most difficult for me, and with so many moving parts to get where we are today. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing your valuable knowledge with us. Last and certainly not least, I would like to thank these individuals who made the $6 million funding possible. David Warren, Assistant Commissioner and Director of Watershed Protection and Planning for New York City DEP's Bureau of Water Supply. He's not here today because he's probably tired of me calling him every day for funding. And I probably spend more time on the phone with him than I do my husband. Bob Ravello, Capital Projects Coordinator for New York City DEP. Bob is in charge of wastewater treatment plant upgrade program, and the first person that I contacted about the possibility of expanding the Frangel wastewater treatment plant to accommodate our commercial district. That first phone call was the genesis of this project. Putnam County legislators Richard Othamer, Carl Albano, Deanie LeBou, Sam Oliverio, Ginny Nisarino, Joseph Castellano, Roger Gross, and Barbara Scucciamara for voting unanimously to allocate East Hudson funds for this project. And finally, Putnam County Executive Mary Ellen Odell for supporting this project and for working really hard to make sure that we were able to get the funding we needed. On behalf of the town board and the residents of Kent, thank you all very much. Now I'd like to turn over the microphone to the next speaker. He is the District Director of Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney. Before working for Congressman Maloney, he was the supervisor of the town of Lewisboro, where he worked tirelessly to protect the watershed by organizing the Lewisboro Stormwater Management Committee. He also worked with neighboring towns to create the Croton-Kensico Watershed Intermunicipal Coalition. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ed Brancotti.
Well, thank you, Supervisor Doherty, and good morning, everyone. I want to just, I'm very sorry the representative couldn't be here. He has another meeting at this time, but I wanted to come down because, as the supervisor mentioned, I've been in her shoes. I've worked, had the opportunity to work on a number of cases, projects with Mr. Avala, who has always been extremely helpful. And, you know, having gone through this process myself on other issues, I know how difficult it can be. I know all the obstacles, all the moving parts, and Supervisor Doherty, you're being commended for your leadership, the entire town board, all of the partners in government here, from the county executive to the assembly members to the state senators. It takes everybody working together. It takes the homeowners. It takes the business owners. And I think what you're demonstrating here and why everybody's here today is that with a very smart investment, working collectively and collaboratively across all the levels, all the parties involved, we can have a good investment that strengthens the economic vitality of the community, but also importantly protects the environmental resources that are so precious that we all depend on. So it's a tremendous project. Congratulations, Supervisor Doherty. Congratulations to the entire town board, to the county officials, everybody involved. Really, it's a great opportunity. It's something, this is a project we should be holding up. We should be celebrating. We're right to be here to do it, and it's something we should be replicating all across not only Putnam County, but all throughout the Hudson Valley. So congratulations again. It's a great project, and thank you.
Senator Gibson.
Well, thank you very much. I just really happy to have this opportunity to congratulate everyone that has worked so hard to make this happen. I know that it was a difficult struggle. It's harder than it ought to be. Hopefully, over time, we can make these types of things simpler at both the federal and the state level. But it really just goes to show what we can all do if we just put our politics aside or differences aside and just focus on the things that really matter. And this is a project that really matters because it will have so many benefits to the local economy, to the community in general, and you've really set the bar much higher for your surrounding communities. And I think you're really going to be a role model of the way that we need to work together to move our society forward in the future. So I just want to congratulate you again. It's great to be here to share this celebration. I'm sure this is going to make a huge difference here in this community, and I look forward to it. Congratulations.
Senator Ball.
I want to thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, I know that I have traveled this road many, many times. I grew up in Pauling, of course, and everybody thinks I'm from Putnam, right? I grew up from that town far away in Pauling. And my mom and I would, that North Country, up near the Canadian border. And my mom and I would drive through here a lot to go to ShopRite. And, you know, this has always been an area, in this specific area, where I think a lot of people in the community are like, well, you know, why isn't something moving forward? How can we get this going forward? You know, why this spot? And, you know, there are places like that all throughout the state. The difference is that you have a town supervisor and a team working with her who is an absolute pit bull and advocate for her community. That's the truth. And there are plenty of opportunities out there for economic revitalization, but for every good opportunity, there are 1,000 reasons why something can't get done. And it must be made absolutely clear that this was a team effort and that there were 1,000 different reasons why this could have failed, but it wasn't allowed to because you have a town supervisor and a team that worked with her to make sure that this got done. I do hope that Jim Coleman's ears are ringing. He's got a promotion with my good friend Rob Astorino down in Westchester County. He's doing a very good job down there. Talk about a pit bull with a ham bone. Jim Coleman was all over this issue and was proud to do it, and he worked very hard on it. So I hope his ears are ringing today. So God bless everybody, and let's continue to do this throughout the county. Thank you.
Stand together.
Thank you, Kathy, and to you for being the leader of this great project that was very expensive. One of the issues is it's not just a little project. It's a really big project that costs a lot of money, and to the town board, everyone who is involved. When I first went into government, my first issue was sewers. I thought, you know, I didn't know, that was when I was a county legislator, that sewers were such an exciting topic, and I actually had a little problem talking to my constituents about sewers. And you can't believe how important it is. It is so important. And the fact that there is going to be an improvement here helps the life of every individual in the community, the health, and beyond, because Putnam has this water system that spreads everywhere. But for the health of the people, the environment, to protect the environment in the future is so important to have good sewer systems. And of course for the economy of the whole area, and I've seen places where sewer lines have gone in and they've just been a spark to the economy. So I congratulate you. This is a great project. And let's go forward and let people know that sewers are key to a good community.
Bob Ravallo.
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here on this beautiful day. A lot of really good remarks have been made. This has been an unbelievable, complicated project. A lot of moving parts, and as someone mentioned, there were a whole bunch of reasons why this shouldn't happen. Least of all, money. Different entities had to work together. Not only governments, and I use the word plural because there have been a lot of agencies, not only the DEP, but Kathy did a fantastic job doing her job as a supervisor, best interest of Ken. But there were people that had to agree to this, people in the private sector. And at first they said, oh, leave us alone. You know, essentially that's what they said. But through Kathy's perseverance, Jeff Pintelmo had a good vision, and we all persevered. We got together, we worked out the technical details. I mean, from an environmental point of view, this is fantastic. Instead of having a small, very expensive wastewater treatment plant serving a few thousand gallons a day on the side of a mountain, we're going to have a centralized sewer district serving not only certain private sectors, but benefiting the entire town of Kent. Really a tremendous thing. And you know, I've been very happy to be part of it. And you know, I thank all the individuals. And thank you.
And now our keynote speaker, County Exec Mary Ellen O'Dell.
Thank you. Thanks, Kathy. Kathy, stay up here with me. Kathy and I have a terrific relationship. As a matter of fact, I've recently referred to the fact that I think we've been separated at birth, and I'm just trying to get as blonde as she is. In 2006, I was honored to be appointed to the legislature, and one of my first thoughts was, what I need to do is I got to meet this woman, Kathy Daugherty, that I've heard so much about, and we did. And we went on a 2-hour tour of the town of Kent. Not that I really needed to do that, because I did grow up here, and I did travel 52 on my school bus, and I did travel 52 in my teenage years, and I traveled as a mom to baseball and football, I had a pretty good idea. But what I got to do in those 2 hours was see the world of Kent through the eyes of Kathy Doherty, who is such a tenacious visionary. And as we spoke and chatted a lot that day about the battles that we faced when we were trying to encourage growth, smart growth, economic initiatives in the town of Kent, one of the things that I noted to her was, having grown up here, I noted that Kent never had a Main Street. And we are a county of Main Streets. We are a county of small businesses. We are a county of chambers of commerce, of Rotarians. Everything that drives the economy in Putnam County begins in Main Street. And the only way you can have Main Street, Assemblywoman Gale, if you're right, is when you have good infrastructure. And while sewer is not exactly sexy conversation for elected officials, it's vitally important. It develops your community. It increases your tax-based revenue. It drives the economy all across the board. I promised Kathy, and it wasn't easy for her to first pitch this, I promised her in 2006 as a legislator I would stand shoulder to shoulder with her on this initiative. When Richard Othmer, Legislator Richard Othmer came on board, she had the A-team with Richie Othmer now. Richie was as driven as I was because he recognized that Kent needed a Main Street and it needed that critical infrastructure. And when I was honored to become the Putnam County Executive, we welcomed District 5's legislator, Mr. Carl Albano, who as a businessman and a developer himself clearly recognizes how important this project was. I thoroughly enjoyed working on this project with Senator Ball, with Jeff Cantelmo, with Bill Nulk and Henry Boyd in the Chamber of Commerce in making sure that the team in Kent, who works so hard every day for its constituents, could get here today. Today's just the beginning. Tomorrow, well, today is the end of a good project. Tomorrow, we begin the actual placement and discussion of what will happen to develop this beautiful, beautiful Main Street that I know Kathy has in her mind and we all do as well. So I'd like to congratulate the town of Kent and thank everyone who had a piece of this. As I always say, it is truly my honor to be the county executive for such a beautiful, beautiful county. Thank you.
Madam Supervisor, from the Putnam County Chambers of Commerce and the Carmel-Kent Chamber of Commerce, we'd like to add this shovel as part of the groundbreaking. We hope of many to come.
Everybody say sewers! Sewers!